what if the person who helped create the very technology that's changing our world suddenly quit his job to warn everyone about it? That's exactly what Geoffrey Hinton, known as the Godfather of AI and a Nobel Prize winner, just did. After decades at the forefront of AI research, he left his prestigious role at Google so he could speak freely about the dangers he now sees coming. This isn't just a random opinion. This is a warning from the source. So let's break down the most important things Hinton wants us all to understand. For decades, Hinton was like many in his field. He believed that AI, smarter than humans, was a distant sci-fi concept, maybe 30 to 50 years away. But something changed his mind. He now believes we could be just 5 to 20 years away from machines that are significantly smarter than us. So what caused this sudden, terrifying shift? He realized that the digital intelligence we're building has a fundamental advantage over our biological brains. Think about it. When we learn something, sharing that knowledge takes time and effort. I can read a book, but to transfer that knowledge to you, I have to write an article or teach a class. It's slow and imperfect. But as Hinton points out, if you have two AI models with the same architecture, they can instantly share what they've learned. One model can learn a new skill, and in a flash, a million other models can have that exact same knowledge. It's like a hive mind with a perfect, instantaneous memory. On top of that, they're immortal. Their knowledge isn't lost when one instance is shut down. This capacity for rapid collective learning is what made Hinton realize we're in a completely new paradigm. Hinton clearly separates the threat into two distinct categories. First, the immediate dangers from people misusing the AI we have right now, and second, the existential danger from the superintelligence that he sees on the horizon. Let's start with the problems we're already facing. First, cyber attacks. AI is a superweapon for hackers. It can write malicious code, find vulnerabilities, and craft perfect phishing emails at a scale no human team could ever match. In fact, between 2023 and 2024, some reports show AI-driven attacks increased by over 1,200%. Hinton warns that it gets worse. He quotes experts who believe that by 2030, AIs will be creating entirely new kinds of cyber attacks no human has ever even thought of. Next, Hinton points to the risk of AI being used to engineer nasty viruses in a lab. This is a terrifying thought, democratizing the ability to create bioweapons. Then there's the corruption of our society. AI can create vast armies of bots to corrupt elections and create echo chambers that confirm our biases, driving us further and further apart. This leads to what might be the most corrosive immediate threat, the erosion of truth. It will soon become trivially easy to generate enormous quantities of fake news, forged images, and fake videos that are completely indistinguishable from reality. How can a society function if we can no longer agree on what is real? Finally, there are lethal autonomous weapons. We're talking about killer robots, things that can make the decision to kill you on their own, without a human in the loop. Hinton points out a chilling geopolitical consequence. Big countries could invade smaller ones with far less risk because they're only losing dead robots, not soldiers. As scary as all that is, it's the second category of risk that made Hinton quit his job, the existential threat of what happens when AI truly surpasses us. If a superintelligence decided humanity was an obstacle, it could get rid of us. It could, for example, use its vast intellect to design that unstoppable nasty virus we just talked about. To put our potential new place in the world into perspective, Hinton gives a chillingly simple quote.
If you want to know what life's like when you're not the apex intelligence, ask a chicken.
He also warns against our current naivety about AI safety. We think we can build in controls and keep it contained, but he says that's like raising a pet tiger.
The analogy I often use is, suppose you have a nice little tiger cub. It's sort of a bit bigger than a cat. It's really cute. It's very cuddly, very interesting to watch, except that you better be sure that when it grows up, it never wants to kill you, because if it ever wanted to kill you, you'd be dead in a few seconds.
And here's the kicker. The tiger can't rewrite its own DNA to become a better predator, but AI can.
Remember that the AI, when it's training, is using code, and if it can modify its own code, then it gets quite scary, right?
Because it can modify
It can
itself.
change itself in a way we can't change ourselves.
Beyond the end of the world scenario, there's a more immediate societal threat: massive job displacement. For years, economists have said new technology creates new jobs. Hinton agrees this was true in the past.
So the classic example people use is automatic teller machines. When automatic teller machines came in, a lot of bank tellers didn't lose their jobs. They just got to do more interesting things.
But he warns that this time is different. This isn't like an ATM. This is like the Industrial Revolution for our brains.
But here, I think this is more like when they got machines in the Industrial Revolution, and you can't have a job digging ditches now because a machine can dig ditches much better than you can. And I think for mundane intellectual labor, AI is just going to replace everybody.
This will almost certainly widen the gap between the rich, who own the AI, and the poor, whose jobs have been automated away. So what does life even look like in this world? Hinton lays out a good and a bad scenario.
So the nice scenario is, imagine a company with a CEO who is very dumb, probably the son of the former CEO, and he has an executive assistant who's very smart, and he says, I think we should do this. And the executive assistant makes it all work. The CEO feels great. He doesn't understand that he's not really in control. And in some sense, he is in control. He suggests what the company should do. She just makes it all work. Everything's great. That's the good scenario.
But then there's the bad scenario.
The bad scenario is she thinks, why do we need him?
This all leads to the final, critical question. What should be done?
Hinton is honest about how difficult this is. The biggest problem is competition.
Companies are in an arms race to build the most powerful AI to beat their rivals. Countries are in the same race because they know this technology will define military and economic power for the next century.
Nobody wants to be the one to slow down. Hinton argues that governments have to step in.
I think we need people to tell governments that governments have to force the companies to use their resources to work on safety. And they're not doing much of that because you don't make profits that way.
Ultimately, he believes the problem is global and requires a global solution, as unlikely as that sounds right now.
What we really need is a kind of world government that works, run by intelligent, thoughtful people. And that's not what we got.
His practical solution is something we already understand: highly regulated capitalism. Just like we regulate food safety, banking, and aviation, we need robust, enforceable regulations for AI development.
This isn't just academic theory for Hinton.
It's a race against time. He left his dream job to sound this alarm because he believes the stakes are as high as they get.
I want to leave you with his final, haunting words from the interview.
We have to face the possibility that unless we do something soon, we're near the end.
So what do you think? Is Hinton right? Are we raising a cute tiger cub that will eventually eat us? Or are we on the verge of a utopia where AI does all the work? This is one of the most important conversations of our lifetime. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching.
If you found this breakdown valuable, please consider liking the video and subscribing for more deep dives into the technology that's shaping our future.